remember it being a summer day. I would say around August, and when I was staying at the shelter, I had this roommate, right? I remember I talked to him, and he told me that he had to stay on drugs to keep in contact with his baby mother. Also to keep, to be able to see his child and to be able to talk to his mom. And I told him, and I said, if your family doesn't love you being off of drugs, then you shouldn't be around them. And that's what I said, because I'm like, maybe he needed the medication, but I think he was like taking like some strong stuff. Because there was one time when I went upstairs one day. I came back from work, I think, and I went to put like my bag and stuff down and everything like that. And I saw him. No, the whole room was like literally destroyed. Like he was literally searching through everyone's stuff to find something that he had lost. And he told me, he's like, oh, my bad, bro. Like, I'm sorry I went through your stuff, because I found a pair of my underwear on his bed, and my other roommate's stuff was all over the place and everything. So I guess he was like looking for something that he had lost, but for some reason he went through our things. I don't know why. That could be why some of my clothes are missing, because I swear like I had more clothes before I moved here, but maybe I'm just tripping, I don't know. But at least I got a couple pairs of shoes that I found that actually look pretty nice. But yeah, the whole room was a mess when I went upstairs, and he was laid out on the floor completely. Like, he looked like to me that he wasn't even breathing. I remember even before this happened before, where he was like one night, it was like nighttime, and I was in the bed asleep. No. I came upstairs to go to bed because I went downstairs to get aspirin because I had a headache and I wasn't feeling good. He looked like, when he was in his bed, he looked like he was dead, bro. Like, when I tell you, like in his sleep, like he was sleeping, but his eyes were still open. And whenever you would make noise or you would do anything loud, he would like jump up out of sleep. And even sometimes in his sleep, like he would shake, like he was having some sort of seizure. So, me seeing all of this, right? So I went downstairs to the staff, and I was talking to them, and this was like a different day the next day. This was the next day. I was telling them, I was like, he doesn't need to be here. He needs to be in rehab somewhere where he can actually get help. Because I've never seen a person like tweak out on drugs in front of me. I never seen that. But I knew what it was immediately, because I had a lot of senses, and I've had a lot of common sense and also discernment too. So I told him that, because I didn't know why he was at a shelter in the first place when he could have been somewhere getting clean, getting help, And I know some people will be like, oh, it's not that easy. And, I'm not saying it's that easy. It's just that, at least somebody could have been helping him and pointing him in the right direction. It didn't seem like nobody was helping him whatsoever. And I've actually seen this on TV shows, and I've seen it in real life too, where these people are trying to get back on the right track. And I don't see them as like druggies or addicts. I see them as lost souls that are trying to get back on the right path. They just need God to guide them. I mean, I came back to God after a long period of time in my life. Well, I mean, he always showed up. He was always there for me. There was a lot of signs that he was there. There was stuff that he was doing in my life as a kid. Stuff that he was doing, the stuff that he's been doing in my life recently, as you've seen. There's a lot more stuff behind the scenes. A lot more blessings, a lot of things that I have bright in my future. But back to him. I don't feel like, people who struggle with those things and struggle with those addictions, because those are demons that cause that as well. But then also, these people have free will. And I would even tell him, I even told my roommate, I was like, you don't have to continue that cycle, right? There's a lot of people who have been on drugs or, who have been stuck, and it's been hard for them to get off of it. Because I even had a family member that I know of. I think she died of an overdose, if I'm not wrong. I'd have to ask my grandmother. But I had a family member die of that, so I know what it's like. Even though I wasn't close to her, and she was my mom's sister, I had a memory of my cousin when I used to live with my grandmother, my mom, my dad, my 2 cousins, and my uncle. She came over one time and she used to cheer me on when this was back when like the Xbox Connect was popular around 2010, around 2011, and the Xbox 360 was like that era, the Xbox 360 and the PS3. She would cheer me on, whenever I'd play Dance Central, and that's a very fond memory I have of her. Wait, what was I saying also? Oh yeah, so I told him that he didn't really need to be there, right? And he needed to actually get help. And I was advocating for him, even though sometimes he couldn't speak for himself. Because he would be like, kind of like, how people would say, like a walking zombie. And I told him that, like, he needs help. But they weren't really helping him. They just, kept calling the ambulance for him and going to the hospital. Like, bro, how many hospital visits is it going to take for them to send this dude to rehab? And that's what I was thinking. Like, he needs genuine help. He needs people that actually care for him and that actually want to put him on the right track. And not all the staff members were like that were there, but there were some of them that just were like, oh, we can't do anything. And some people would even make fun of him, because a lot of people are disrespectful in this world and also desensitized, but that doesn't give you an excuse to make fun of somebody for going through something. One time, though, he did walk around the house with his butt crack out, and I was like, bro, pull up your pants. And he was like, oh, my bad. I was like, bro, you can't be walking around like that. Like, I wasn't mad at him, but I was just telling him, like, bro, can't be doing that. But I advocated for him, and I went downstairs and told him that. I told him that he needed help. So rumor got around the house and got back to my roommate. He thought that I was working against him to try to get him kicked out, and that wasn't what I was doing. So one night when I went upstairs, my other roommate came at me and was like, oh, do you got a problem, this and that? Like, trying to press me. And I was like, bro, who you talking to? Like, bro. I was like, bro, you're not talking to me. Because I will literally smack you in your face. I will punch you in your face, actually. And I said that to him. I was like, bro. I was like, if you're not going to be respectful, just keep it down, bro. Don't say none of those. I kept telling him, like, bro, you're not talking to me like that. He was just running his mouth, but he never actually did anything. That's the funny thing. But then he brought up and then he said, oh, you over here talking behind our roommate's back, trying to get him kicked out. And I said, I wasn't trying to get him kicked out, you idiot. I was trying to help him because nobody else was helping him, stupid. And that's what I said. So they took what I did and what I said to them as, oh, he's trying to, get him kicked out. And my roommate that was on drugs was like, oh, you're weird. This and that. I was like, me, I'm weird. I said, but you're the one on drugs with a whole baby mama. How you gonna talk about me being weird? Well, you're on drugs literally every day. And I wasn't trying to persecute him and I wasn't trying to condemn him, but I had to speak the truth. I said, bro, you need to get your life together. You're sitting here, talking about me being weird. You being here is not good for you, and you doing all these things is weird. You talking about me behind my back and playing and stuff with my other roommate is weird when I literally didn't do nothing to you. So he said all those things. Oh, you're a weirdo. Nobody want to talk to you. Nobody want to be around you. I said, okay, you're calling me weird, but you're the one that's literally on drugs every day, looking like you're damn near close to death, right? And what I said couldn't be any closer to the truth. So one day, I went upstairs, and he was literally out on the floor again, out on the floor entirely. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, he talked all that mess to me. He said what he said, calling me weird, even though I was trying to help him, thinking that I was plotting against him. And I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of people thinking I'm plotting against them when I want to see everybody win. I want to see the best for everybody because that's the type of person that I am. Even if I don't know you, I still have respect for you. And I still, love and care about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I don't know you like that, I still keep it 100 and I still have respect for people. That's just how I am. And that's just how I came up. Those are just my morals, and that's just how I treat people. I treat people the way I want to be treated. So I was thinking about that. I thought about all the stuff that he said to me. Pride creeped in a little bit, I'm not gonna lie to you, because I saw him laying on the floor and I wasn't even gonna say nothing. I was just gonna be like, you know what? Whatever. You might be thinking, Bri, that's messed up. Look, lock in real quick. Listen to me, right? So I felt a tug in my heart, and even a voice in my head myself. I was like, because I heard myself, because I was talking to myself in my head. I was like, no, I can't leave him sitting there like that. And I feel like that was God speaking to me too, because I felt a tug in my heart, which was God. And I was like, you know what? Yes, he had free will, and he chose to say the things that he said to me, even though he has spirits and demons attached to him because of the drugs that he's doing. But am I going to let that be the reason, and let my pride be the reason why I can't potentially save somebody's life? So I didn't do that. And I went downstairs and I told the staff members, like, hey, he looks like he's dead and he's not breathing. He was breathing. And they called the ambulance for him. The stretcher, the dispatchers, they came in. The officers, they came in. They put him on a stretcher, grabbed his bags and stuff. I made sure, he got his phone charger, because one of the staff members was like, oh, do you know where his phone is? Or his phone charger? And I helped him look for some of his stuff, because I knew where some of his stuff was. So I helped them with that. So they carried him on a stretcher out the house, in the ambulance. Now, mind you, after this, he was gone for like, I would say about maybe a month and a half or two. And he came back to me. I mean, not to me. He came back to the house. And he was cleaner. And, he came back to get his room back or whatever. Because they kept his bed for him. Even though he was at the hospital, they wasn't just going to kick him out, even though, he was basically going through a health crisis, pretty much. So my roommate tells me, he said, yo, like, he apologized to me. He's like, yo, I'm sorry for the way that I perceived you beforehand. I was wrong about you. You were actually trying to help me. And he told me, they told him at the hospital that he could have potentially died. And if I didn't say nothing, he literally could have passed away. I had some happiness. I had a smile appear on my face. And I said, you're welcome, bro. And he was like, oh, anytime you want to go to the basketball court, or if you want to hang out, let me know. Now, mind you, I don't mind hanging out with people. And not that I'm not a forgiving person, but I wasn't going to forget about the things that he said to me, because he chose to say those things. He might have been under the influence, but he still chose to say the things that he said to me. So I was like, maybe one day when I have time off. And I had days off, but I didn't hang out with him. I just ended up like going to the library at the time and bringing my laptop and probably playing the game or watching some YouTube videos or applying for some places, because I was doing that a lot at the time. I put in a lot of hard work to get to where I am now, and God helped me a lot, and he carried me a lot from where I was, and I came very far. So, but yeah, he ended up being clean, and I ended up saving his life. One thing you guys can take from this is that never let your pride, and what people say to you stop you from doing something that can potentially save someone's life. If you see something, say something. And for me, it wasn't even a petty thing. I just was like, it was just like you know what? You figure it out, since you have all the answers and you think I'm trying to go against you and you think I'm against you when I'm really not. So. But yeah, man, I hope y'all take something from this story. I feel like this is a very great story time. Definitely was a very great one. I helped somebody. I literally stood up for someone and I advocated for them even though they hurt me. And it wasn't really for my benefit. It was in God's will. It was for God's benefit. Even though he was under the influence and being on drugs and things like that, thinking that he had to be on them just to keep in contact with, his family. God still has him here for a purpose, and God used me to save him. You know, not acting like I'm anybody's savior or anything, but, you know, God used me to help him, to advocate for him, and to save his life. But yeah, man, I thank you guys all for watching. I thank you for taking the time to check this out. I love you all, and I hope you have a blessed night or day. I'm out, man. Peace.